So I guess I'll start by saying that I didn't grow up in the church. Growing up, I always believed in God, but I never really had a personal relationship with Him, nor did I know that that was even possible. Um, I didn't really know who Jesus is, and um, the Bible was really just another book to me. Like, I think growing up, I did open it a couple of times, like out of curiosity, but I didn't get really far because I thought it was pretty boring. Um, to be honest, I was just apathetic towards it all. Like, I didn't really care. I was just really focused on myself, and um, I was just really selfish. Um, in high school, I just I just pretty much pursued success. I thought if I worked extremely hard, that I can get a good job and make a ton of money, and then I would find true happiness. In high school, I was in the party scene, and that was just basically because it was either that or sit at home bored. And my view on it was like, I don't want to waste my life, so I'm gonna go out and party and have fun. Um, yeah. So, towards the end of my senior year, my friend Jamie started inviting me to youth events and youth nights, and I just started meeting a bunch of awesome people, and they just made me feel extremely welcomed and loved, and um, yeah, and I always noticed that there's something different about Christians. I didn't really know what it was, but I did notice that there's something different about them. Um, so I started going to church more and more, and to be honest, at first I was just excited to be meeting all these awesome people and making all these new friends. Um, but the moment I actually started seeking God was at the Romanian Youth Conference. I just, like, the last night, everyone was at the beach, and there's a bunch of youth like surrounding a bonfire and just like singing their hearts out to God. And that's when I just realized that I hadn't been living the life God wanted for me, and that God's plan is so much bigger than mine. So that night, I just called out to God and asked Him to change my life. And after that moment, um, I just started like talking to God for the first time and like having conversations with God. And uh, I started opening my Bible and actually was interested in it. Um, I also just started to discover things about God that I had no idea about before. Like one thing, for example, is that God has a sense of humor. Like, He can be really funny sometimes. Um, but even after all that, I still was missing something. I was missing Jesus. Um, I I would go to church and I would hear people praying these passionate prayers to Jesus, like, Jesus, thank you for what you did on the cross for me. And I would just be like, yeah, Jesus, thanks. Like, I don't know, I didn't know why I didn't have like that passion that I heard in other people's voices. Um, but that all changed when I got to UCLA. I got involved in a Christian fellowship called Campus Crusade for Christ. And like the third week into college, I went on this thing called Fall Retreat, where just a bunch of students whose hearts are for Jesus just go to the mountains and on a retreat for 3 days. And the last night, the speaker explained Jesus' sacrifice in a way I never heard it before. He said, okay, imagine you are in a courtroom and the judge is your father. And you're on trial for murdering your roommate. The judge says to you, your father says to you, son, I love you, but I'm a judge and I demand justice. You're guilty. But then he said, but imagine that judge stepping down from the judge's panel and going to the electric chair to die in your place. And after hearing that, that's when everything just became so much more real. Like, everything just, like, clicked. And that's when I felt the true weight of the sacrifice Jesus made for all of us. And that's when I felt the true weight of the gospel. And that night, I have never cried that hard in my life. And I'm a big crybaby, so that's a big deal. I've never felt anything like that before in my life, and I'm not going to try to explain it because I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, but that's just the night I realized that, like, I am so broken, and, like, I am a sinner, and I did not deserve what Jesus did for me on the cross. And I just think, I was just so that night I just thanked God like never before. And that's the night I fell in love with Jesus Christ. And after that, I don't look at this world the same at all. I feel like God has just given me new eyes. And God has just really changed my heart. Some examples is, It's because of God that I was able to forgive people in my life that I swore I would never forgive again. It's because of God that for the first time in my life, I could say the words, I love you to people. For some reason, I wasn't able to say that to people without feeling extremely awkward. It's because of God that my life has purpose and meaning. Thank you.
Stay here. Are your parents here? Daniel's parents, would you please stand? Daniel's parents. I want to thank you for letting Daniel attend our church. I want to assure you that he is in good hands among Romanians. Daniel, would you please say something in Romanian?
Ce faci?
Good.